The NFT markets are crashing, everything's going down. So in this video, we're going to talk about what are the best strategies to do moving forward, some up and coming hot mints, as well as some major updates on some of our favorite projects. So the first thing we're going to look at is the market sentiment. So if you go on the crypto fear and greed index, you can see that we are dialed all the way to 11 over here, whereas just yesterday we're at 18. So people are very fearful in the markets. Everybody's selling, everybody's panicking, but should you be panicking? That is the question. Now, if we go into the macro crypto markets and we're looking at some of the top alternative coins and Bitcoin as well, Bitcoin's kind of going down, Ethereum at 2.4, Solana going down as well. So just all around the board, everything is crashing. And of course, even if when you're looking at the S&P 500, those numbers are also crashing as well. So overall, market is looking down. Now, will it keep going down forever? It remains to be seen. We've seen crypto go very low before, and it's all speculation. It's all what people believe. But at the same time, we also seen situations where things go down quite a bit. For example, last year in 2021, Ethereum hit that 1.8K, and that was like, oh my God, everything's going down. And then it just kind of went back up all the way to 4. And so, these are the cycles that are going to happen. Things go up and down all the time. What you want to do instead, though, is kind of look at the macro trend of, is Ethereum still going? Are people still believing in NFTs? And the answer is yes, people are still moving into NFTs. Lots of big companies are spending billions of dollars to build the metaverse and NFT projects. So I would say overall, if you kind of look at it in the long term, pretty still bullish on NFTs in general. But of course, there's always going to be corrections because people get over greedy, they overinvest, and then the market eventually has to correct itself on its way up. When we're looking at the top NFTs, we've seen that volume across the board for pretty much every project in the last day has been going down, from Bored Apes, Doodles, Murakami, Azuki. Everything's kind of going down, and pretty much like all the mints that are coming out, they're not doing extremely well. I think PXN was that last mint that really like knocked it out the park. After that, everything is not looking too good for the market. So my recommendation, not that you should think of this as financial advice, to make money right now in NFTs, it is a trader's market. So it's not like stupid money. It's just like going into the space and everything's like going up. Right now, a lot of things are going down. So it's pretty difficult to make money unless you have like certain specialties in trading or you're pretty good at trading. For a lot of people who are beginners, sometimes it's even better to sit on the sidelines and kind of wait it out until things look a little more bullish, because when the market's very difficult and you don't know what you're doing, chances are you're probably going to buy something and it's going to go down 20% the next day. Be very mindful of that. Sometimes you just stack your ETH or stack your cash and wait for the right opportunity. But if you really want to, degen and you want to, play and learn in these trading markets, you totally could, but the chances of you making money is a lot lower than it was, let's say, like 2 months ago. Now, in other news, Doodles has been making some major moves, and they recently just hired this person, Julian, who is going to serve as the new CEO of Doodles. Now, why is this big news? Well, according to LinkedIn, obviously right now he started becoming the CEO just recently. He was the president of Billboard, which is one of the top media companies in music. He was the executive vice president, head of sales and partnerships at MRC, which acquired Billboard actually. So it's the parent company of it. And also you see from his experience with Billboard, he's been head of revenue. So basically he's a sales guy, right? So kind of like me, I'm a sales guy too. So someone that understands sales, understands partnerships, working with large brands, bringing in dollars into that company and then funneling it to their audience. When I'm looking at Doodles and we see like this salesperson is kind of hired in as a CEO. And when I say sales, I don't mean it in a negative way, right? I think sales is one of the best professions you can do. It's like that person that can really build a relationship with another person and make something happen, especially when it comes to moving revenue. The way I kind of look at it, and I'm reading this thing, is like Doodle is an IP brand, right? They are who they are. They're not trying to be a play to earn game from my understanding, which I think Cool Cats actually made that mistake, and that's why they kind of lost their spot as like the cool like blue chip project. So Doodle's definitely not going in that direction anymore, and I'm guessing they're going for more like partnerships with like large companies who want to enter the Web3 space. So the trend that I'm seeing that's more and more popular is that you're going to get a lot of Web2 brands, whether it's from esports or gaming, just fashion, or basically anything, right? They're going to see like, oh wow, everybody's making so much money on NFTs. How do I get in the space? One of the gateways that these Web2 brands can take, especially if they don't want a mistake because they have a brand and reputation to keep, is they work with a very established project like Doodles, for example, and they do some kind of collaboration to get their toe wet a little bit, right? Maybe a collaboration here and there, and then maybe one day they're going to launch their own project. And so that's where I kind of see Doodles in this relationship, where it's a family-friendly brand appealing to guys and girls, and for a certain demographic that has money, they are interested in buying a Doodle, right? If brands are able to get into the Web3 space by partnering up with Doodle, which improves their status and makes them more relevant in 2022, then that's pretty much good for everyone. And I can see Doodles like completely crushing it when it comes to IP, just how Azuki is crushing it, or Bored Ape, right? All these brands now are bringing in like these well-connected salespeople and business development people to bring in other companies and partner with their Web3 brand. And that seems like the play. Similar to how in our previous video, we talked about Azuki hired the former CEO of Hello Kitty in North America and Europe, right? Another thing that people are pretty hyped about with Doodles is on May 12th, which is coming up real soon, they are going to be creating this duplicator functionality. I do not know exactly what this duplicator is, but it seems like it's going to clone your Doodle. A lot of speculation, but it's interesting enough that I would talk about it. So I guess the price of Doodle is going to pump quite a bit. It was like at 15 ETH floor just like a week or two ago, and now I think it went over 20, and now it's like almost 20. So still pretty good, still pretty healthy, and interesting project if you're into it. Next project that we are going to be talking about is going to be a Solana project, and that's OK Bears. So over the past week or two, OK Bears have been on this crazy run. They are in the top 6 when it comes to volume. So a lot of traders, a lot of people speculating are jumping into OK Bears. You know, there's not a lot of good Solana projects in general, so I guess they definitely do stand out. Like when we're going on the website, actually it's pretty similar to the Azuki website, but again, it's better than the other Solana projects out there when you go on their website. So that definitely is something when it comes to like aesthetic and how much effort they put into the website to making it look cool. Looks like they have a big team. Most of them are undocked, seems like it. Going to the Magic of Eden, yeah, they're definitely getting the most volume out of every Solana project. But now if you just kind of look at the projects in general for Solana, you know, there's not a lot of competition. Like you go to popular projects, and just from aesthetic standpoint, I'm not saying I know these projects, I'm just saying like, you know, OK Bears is much better than the other ones in my personal opinion, and these are the top projects. So I think that's why OK Bears is getting a lot of attention, because they are a pretty good project that would be competitive in Ethereum, right? I don't know too much about like vision, the roadmap, because I haven't listened to an AMA. I know they're out there, but I just haven't had time to check everything out. But it seems like a lot of people are very bullish on this project. A lot of traders seem like they're all like changing their PFP to OK Bears for some reason. I'm not exactly sure if it's like everyone's just buying it because everyone's buying it and then everyone's hyping it up. I don't know if that's going to be like artificial hype that can last forever. So if you enter into this project, just understand that there's not really a clear utility to this project. It's just kind of cool. It looks cool. A lot of people like it. I mean, you could argue that Bored Ape kind of like the same thing, right? What's the utility of Bored Ape? Well, it makes you look cool, right? There's no like utility, but people are buying into this, right? And obviously the floor price has been going up quite a bit. Now, is this sustainable? I'm not sure, but it's going up during a bear market. So a lot of people find a lot of interest in that. Now, if you do buy it, my recommendation is to find all the influencers who are pumping this, change their picture profile to this, find their wallet on their Solana wallet, and basically follow it, right? If you can. Sometimes they have it public, sometimes they don't. So if you follow all the guys that are pumping it and you buy into the project too, you should know when everyone's going to dump it, if they dump it, because when they do, then that's the time you should probably sell, because everyone's going to dump it at the same time. That's my recommendation. You know, if you go into it, know when everyone's going to dump, watch it very carefully, and don't be stuck holding the bag. Because a lot of times if these projects pump up, I'm not saying this project in particular, but in general, a lot of times when things pump up artificially and like it's not really explainable to why it pumps up, but people buy it just because more people buy it, and it's just like this almost like Ponzi kind of thing. Just watch the big wallets to see when they dump, especially the ones that are most vocal about it, because a lot of times they're the ones that dump first. But if they hold it forever, great, then you're on to the moon. You always want to be prepared for the worst situation, so that's what I would recommend, not financial advice. Okay, the next project we are going to talk about is going to be Community. That's how you say it. There are also another Solana project that has been getting a lot of volume. So according to Opensea, they have the 16th most volume at the moment, which is the second most popular Solana project after OK Bears. And you can also see like Solana's coming up. There's like Mouse in the House going up as on 21 too. So maybe Solana's going to be a thing that we're going to be covering in the future. But anyways, pretty much it's like a startup, like a B2B startup, where they're basically creating white label B2B products for other projects. So basically they raise like, I think $9 million from VCs. They create this like white label like thing for your fans. So like if you have a community and you want people to be engaged and you want to keep track of that engagement, this basically is a tool for you. How it works is there's 2 tiers. The first one is going to be B2B. So like if you buy this little ticket over here, you're going to get a discount like 10 or 20K or something per month off of your subscription when you purchase their software. And then from here, these are for the consumers, for everyday people to buy, and there's like staking and things like that. But it's interesting because it's literally like a B2B SaaS company that is building in Web3, and they decided to use NFTs as a funding mechanism instead of raising more money from VCs, which they have already done, but they're doing it through an NFT, which is kind of smart because you get your name out there a little bit more, you provide more services, you get users, and at the same time, you sell an NFT, which is a collectible, and you don't have to give a percentage of your company. Whereas for typical VC investments, you have to give a percentage every time you take in money. You sell an NFT, you sell a collectible, which kind of represents ownership of a company, but it's not really, right? I mean, I don't know how good this product is, but it seems like they have clients like Sandbox, XYG, Big Time, amongst other ones. So interesting stuff. So I think having like pure utility, like if you think about it, it's not about the art, it's about basically buying a B2B software. It's a very interesting play because I'm pretty sure like more companies are going to do this, where like you have someone like an Alpha Sharks, for example, have a PFP, right? And I think a lot of software companies coming out right now, they're gonna put that PFP element. Even if you think about it, PXN itself is almost like a SaaS company with a picture on top, but they're not building for a B2B business. They're building for P2C, meaning they're building like a Discord alternative, for example, right? But it's the same idea. Pretty picture on top, get the community interested, and then you build products behind that, and then there you go. But for Community 3, the reverse way, where they built a product for the last 3 years, and then they sold a PFP on top of it. So different ways you can go. One is not better than the other. It's just different strategies. So we will see what is most effective as time moves on. So the next project we're going to talk about is going to be Forgotten Ethereal Worlds. So this project over here is quite interesting because I recently got to talk on the phone with the founder, Takoa, and we just kind of chopped it up. I just kind of wanted to ask him what he was doing. He was asking me what I'm doing, and I asked a lot of questions about his project. He started this project a while back. It was actually a pretty cheap mint. I think it was 0.1. He had an alpha group, and then he turned it into an NFT project, and then it became few, right? Right now, the floor price is going to be 8.85, which is pretty crazy for a collection that's 350, right? And they're going to be launching a second project to expand on that because, you know, obviously if the first one is successful, you kind of earn the reputation. You're like, you know, I can deliver value. So then when you launch the second one, you have a lot more leverage and a lot more attention on your project, right? And so he's going to be launching that one sometime, maybe this month, next month. Not exactly sure on the announcement quite yet, but I think it's coming soon. Now, this is interesting because it's not a PFP project. It is a land project. So he's basically selling you pictures of these different lands, and somehow you're going to be able to use this land in the metaverse. Now, there's not a lot of information of how this land will be used, but I'm pretty sure, you know, if you kind of stay up to date with what's going on their Discord and things like that, there's going to be more information on that. And we're going to be interviewing him on the YouTube channel as well sometime real soon. So you definitely want to be on a watch out for that. But overall, you know, they have a team, they have funding from the first NFT drop that they did. They have advisors like this guy over here, which is a legendary advisor, especially when it comes to tokenomics, and is also the advisor for Gangster All-Stars, Anonymize, Either Org, Cyberkong. So they definitely have the right people on board. If you're curious, you know, why is the floor so high? From my personal perspective, outside looking in, because I don't hold one of these myself, but I think people buy it for two reasons. One, it's like the community and the alpha of like talking to other people in the NFT space. And the other reason is because they grant you a lot of really great whitelist opportunities. You know, if you buy a pass and it gives you a lot of whitelists and you're able to mint it and then you can make money, then obviously the floor price for something like that is going to be very high. You know, in general, low supply but good opportunity makes, you know, a good NFT project, right? That's just like a very strong utility. It's pretty similar to Project Godjira on Opensea, where they have, you know, 332 items over here. I don't hold a Project Godjira. A lot of people, you know, in my Discord hold one of them. They say a lot of good things, and these guys get a lot of good whitelist opportunities too. So whitelist as a feature in terms of your NFT project is definitely a big thing. And I feel like these low supply, high quality whitelist projects command a high floor price. Now, it doesn't mean that the only thing they have is whitelist. It's just one of their strengths amongst many other things. So if you want to learn more about that, you know, you could check out Takoa, you could check out Forgotten Ethereal Worlds, their Twitter, and check out their website and things like that to learn more about that. And the last thing I'll touch on is, you know, the Parallax project, which I haven't really been talking about. Haven't even officially announced it yet, but I can say this: whether we're in a bull market or we're in the bear market, just know the Parallax will be here for the long term. I don't care what's going on in the market. I'm going to be reporting the news, sharing the best projects for people interested in the space. You know, we're definitely here for the long term. And if you want to be involved with the community, make sure to join our Discord, where we're doing live AMAs every week. You can ask more questions about the project before everyone else knows. And, you know, we do a lot of fun stuff. Like we freestyle rap at every AMA. You know, last time we had like 5 guys come up, you know, just spitting bars. So if you want to have some fun, you want to check it out, make sure to join the Parallax Discord. Link is in the description. And also make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I have a big announcement coming up real soon. With that said, that's everything for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.